Hello and good morning. I'm John Ricciuti from MainlineTV.org. Our guests today are opera soprano Dominika Zamara and Joe Morinelli, founder and oracle and Radio Voice Italia, and of course, Dominika's manager. Our recorded show today will be unscripted. It will be shown on YouTube, and we are educational, informative, and mostly entertaining. Dominika was born in Wroclaw, Poland. She is a Polish operatic soprano, artistically trained in Italy. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you
for coming
having
on.
us, John.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming on. Joe, I want you to feel free to jump in at any time.
Okay.
Well, you're Dominika's manager, so it would be important for you to do that. Dominika, I've always believed. One time I was asked, what did I think was the greatest instrument? And in my mind, the voice is the greatest instrument.
I agree, absolutely, because we are a live instrument. Our body, our mind, our soul is our instrument. And instrument of our vibration, our emotion, so it's very important. Our mood every day is different. Our psychological state is different, so every day we're singing in different way, with different emotions, with different theaters, different audience, so it's beautiful because Pantarei with art, like Greek philosophy talk, that art is always moving with our emotion, but it's true. We are a live instrument.
You're currently touring the United States?
Yes.
Well, before I ask you what the highlight of your career has been, tell me about your touring. Or tell us, actually, not me specifically.
Yes, in a few days I will be performing in Princeton with amazing pianist. Yes, an amazing pianist, Clipper Erickson, his beautiful virtuoso. We will performing some bel canto arias like Bellini, Donizetti, Verdi, and also some Chopin, because I was recording this CD with Chopin songs, and I love this music, performing this music around the world.
Hold it up to the camera.
I was performing also in Teatro La Scala, these songs, these 19 songs with Maestro Moro. This is amazing pianist, Italian pianist. And this CD is also in library of La Scala, Teatro La Scala. When you're coming there, you can see this CD. So in Princeton, we will performing also some songs of Polish composer like Chopin. And the next concert is in Denver with amazing conductor Kevin Madel. He's an amazing conductor from Chicago. We're just performing around the world together in Italy, in US. He's really amazing choir and orchestra conductor.
I want to ask you about the highlight of your career, but I don't want you to tell me yet, because I want to, because I'll come back to it. I want you to tell me about how you got to where you got. So you grew up in your childhood. I'm not going to say what year you were born.
Yeah.
But in your childhood, it was partially a communist country, Poland.
Yeah.
So after the Polish Revolution of '89 and '90,
Yes.
Was there just like a switch that went off, like where your parents were obviously
Yes.
in a communist environment?
Yeah, of course. I remember I was born in '81. Okay, everybody knows my age now. Okay,
See, I wasn't going to say
secret.
it.
It's not a
I
secret.
wasn't going to say
Came
it.
out
It's
one
not
way or
a
another.
secret,
Okay, so-
but it's okay.
Okay.
But my parents really, yes, have this revolution, find this revolution was very difficult. But John Paul II helped us to, yes.
Well, there were a few people involved in that. Well, we
Yeah.
won't get into the political side, but I think
Yes, absolutely.
I think Margaret Thatcher had something to do with it, and Ronald
of
Reagan,
course.
and
Yeah, of course.
there were. But the Pope, the Polish Pope.
But the Polish
Yeah.
Pope, John Paul II, helped us for sure.
Yeah.
And now it's good situation in Poland. It's developing of culture, economical development. So it's good moment.
What was it difficult for your parents growing up in a communist environment as far as education or religion? As best as you can remember, because I realize you were very young.
Yeah, I was very young. It was difficult time for sure, but education in Poland had always high level. Everybody graduated in my house. For my mom, education was the most important. She told me, you don't have to clean house, you don't have to do nothing, but you have to studying. So I grew up with this very hard discipline to studying many hours every day. I was playing piano. My grandfather, he was born the same year like John Paul II. He was my first teacher of piano and organ. So I grew up that every day I was practicing like 8 hours. So it was good time with discipline, sacrifice, a lot of for art.
This is a funny way of me asking it though. Did you come from a musical family?
Yes, my grandfather, Stanisław, was organist, church organist, and my professor of piano, first professor. Yeah.
And that's how you eventually got the scholarship in a conservatory.
Yes, I was, but my grandfather passed away when I go to conservatory, but he was very proud for me because I had many concerts in Poland. But before I graduated in opera performing in Poland, in university, I won scholarship to Italy. It was for me revolution because Italy is patria of bel canto. It's a country of bel canto where bel canto was born. So studying in Italy with the best conductors, with the best professors like Maestro De Mori. He was professor of Maria Callas. He take me for free lessons every day. I was going with him studying opera performing. It was amazing for me. It was miracle for voice.
We'll get to Italy.
Yes.
We'll get to Italy. What was the earliest recollection you had of having a voice, of recognizing yourself that you like to sing? You obviously, I didn't know till now that you could play a piano and an organ.
Yeah.
So you're obviously artistically talented, musically talented. But when did you recognize that you had a voice and that you wanted to sing opera?
I was performing always. Every day I was singing. Yes, as a kid. And also many kids in school asking me, please sing for us. And sometimes I was repeating 10 times one song because the kids was happy, was crying. I understood that my voice create emotion. I was very happy. So also my grandfather told me, you have a big talent. We have to go to famous opera singer in Poland. So they discover my voice and I start to practice voice. And I feel that opera is like a princess of music. I believe in it, absolutely.
Is practicing your voice the same amount of hours as it would be to play a piano, practicing every day?
No. Because how you told it's a live instrument, so very soft and delicate instrument. You can practice a lot, but not with full voice. For example, every day I practice like 2 or 3 hours with full voice. And other hours I practice, I'm memorizing my repertoire, new arias, new opera parts. So yes, and also physical. I think to doing some sport like Pilates, yoga can be very helpful for our diaphragm because we have to working with our organism, our body. We have to keep like sport people our life in discipline. For example, I have special diet. I eat only vegetarian food. It helped me a lot. It's important to drink a lot of water, no alcohol, absolutely, for vocal cords. And some things that is part of our life, like sport people do. It's the same, yeah. and practice a lot.
So you have a number of coaches.
Yes.
That actually work with you to become you. Even a person like Cecilia Bartoli.
Oh, amazing! Yes.
Yeah, I know she's a mezzo soprano.
Mezzo soprano, coloratura.
and,
yes.
And so she had not just see. You have to talk to me like I'm 2 years old trying to study the opera singers. You have many people that working with you, dietitians and amount of sleep and throat exercises.
Yes. I have my vocal coach from Milano, a great professor from La Scala. Sometimes I go to him before my tournée. He give me some advices because like sport people have like trainer, somebody who help you. Also we have some people who give you good advice. Also I have my pianist that I practice with him in Milano, in Italy. So this is very important to have people that you can practice with.
Okay, so now that brings me to, because I know how the Italians are, or I know how the Italians can be, should I say.
I agree.
I do too, John. I do too.
Well, I know you know as well.
Yeah.
Italy is like kind of like a club for opera singers.
Yeah.
How does a young woman from Poland get to Italy and become an opera singer?
Yeah, it was miracle for me. It was my dream because Italy is everything for opera. Yes, so I was dreaming always. I would like to study in Italy, and my dream comes true. I didn't have any political connection, nothing. But my professor from Polish university, opera performing, she told me it's possibility to win scholarship. You are talented. You have to recording CD. I was recording CD with Puccini and Verdi arias. They sent this CD in Conservatory Verona. But I couldn't believe that I can win. And they called me in two weeks. You won this scholarship. We offer you. We're paying for your studying for 1 year before you graduated. So it was my dream. I was coming to Italy and start to studying opera with the best professor like Maestro De Mori, professor of Maria Callas. It was my dream. And after that, I debuted with La Bohème opera in Padua with Maestro De Mori, and I received work in Italy immediately because Italian people accepted me like family. They love my voice, so I was so happy to be there. And
you said La Bohème. That was
La Bohème.
Yes, when you did that in Padua.
Yes.
And you played the which incidentally, well, you know this better than I do. There was a play loosely adopted from La Bohème called Rent.
Yes.
You're probably familiar with that, though.
Yes. It's true. Yes, absolutely.
And in that, the character that you played in La Bohème,
It's Mimi
was
character.
Yes, and she. Did you become that person?
Really, it's a beautiful question. Thank you so much. Because I lived in Verona, in house like Mimi, like La Bohemian house, very artistic house, very antique.
Well, she was a seamstress.
Yes, and I feel like Mimi. Really, I feel transformation inside myself that I'm Mimi. I believe like Mimi. I live like her. I was studying 1 month every day this opera. I try to become Mimi. This is very important. I think because we use this method of Stanislavski, amazing actor, who teach us to be character, not to playing character, to be character. Yeah.
Do you see yourself as being dreamy and romantic?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
In order to do that, because
for sure,
unlike other singing, performing, opera is drama.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Very dramatic. Very often a character dies. For example, when my Mimi was dying on the stage, I feel for 1 week like a little depressed, very sad for her. I was thinking die inside.
You became her.
I become her, really. I become her, absolutely, Joe. Yeah. It's like that. Mm-hmm. It's only one way to be true on the stage.
How about Giorgetta? And when you played her in Bari, when you did The Cloak, Il Taboro.
Yes.
Right.
Also, Tabaro is beautiful opera and very rare performed because very dramatic also.
She was trapped in an unhappy marriage.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, I try. I never been married, but I try to imagine.
Well, that's why I say, can you imagine that?
I try to imagine. I try to be psychologist because we opera singer have to look on the away and try to studying psychological characters. Yes.
And of course you do you just immerse yourself into that person and you're that person every day?
Yes.
And how many times a day would you have to perform? Or was it only once a day?
Yes, once a day. Yeah, yes. 2 will be too much.
And
One time only was performing 2 times. It was too much.
Is there ever a time when you ever say to yourself, I really don't want to do this today, but you make yourself do it?
Sometimes it can happen because we are, how you told me, we are a live instrument. So sometimes I wake up and I'm full of energy. I would like to sing, performing, give emotion. But sometimes we don't feel so well. But we have to be absolutely in good shape always. I try to, yes.
So the day of opening night,
Yes.
the day of the performance, you wake up that day and what do you feel? I know what that's like as an athlete. Is it the same kind
Yes.
of tension that builds up?
Always.
And knowing that you're going to hit have you ever been, there's a coordination between the orchestra and yourself?
Yes, sometimes yes. When I wake up just in the morning, when I know that I have to perform in the evening, because in Italy everything is very late. At 9 o'clock we have performing, so whole day we live in tension. I can't do nothing to be tired. I can't meeting so much people because I'm not focused anymore. I can't have bad emotions. I can't have, I can't be angry with nobody. So I try to not answer phone and.
She's never hung up on me, though. She's never hung up the phone on me.
Yes, on the day of performing. Yes, so we're preparing.
Well, you're a manager.
Well,
you're the person she can hang the phone up on.
That's right.
Yes, I trust him absolutely. Yes.
Her dedication and it's amazing. Her focus,
Thank you so much.
being on the outside looking in, you are so focused and disciplined.
Thank you.
And I tell people all the time, you watch her perform through a video, whatever, in concert, which many people should do when it comes to their neighborhood, which is probably going to be pretty soon everywhere in the country. You get a lot from her performance over and above her voice. It's just very motivating and very passionate, and kind of like you can incorporate her dedication again to what you're doing. You know what I mean? It gives you an uplift. It's like contagious, really, in a good way. In a good way.
Thank you so much.
Again, knowing how the Italians can be, is there a lot of competition amongst opera singers? Like, do you go watch other opera singers perform?
Sometimes yes, but I'm not a competitive person. I make competition with myself only.
You're competitive with yourself?
I try to be better, because every voice is individual, every voice is different, every color is different, and some people love this kind of voice, some other people like different kind. So I don't want to make competition with nobody, only with myself. I have to be better with my technique, with my voice, and voice developing. Every day is different because we have new emotions. Our instrument grow up. When I was 20 years old, my voice was smaller. Now it's bigger, more round, more dark. So it's changing every time. Of course, also speaking voice. Yes, speaking voice change. It's a live instrument, but it's beautiful progress, beautiful, metamorphosis of our voice, our mind, our soul. So it's progress.
So what has been the highlight of your career to date? What has been the highlight of your career?
Many things. For example, for me, it was very important performing in Lincoln Center in New York. It was the first very big concert in US for me. Kevin Spacey was present in this concert, and it was orchestra with 130 elements, very big international orchestra. So it was amazing concert, full hall. Also the last year, Carnegie Hall, with my manager Joe, was beautiful thing.
Incredible experience. To be in Carnegie Hall, I'm a sound engineer too, and to be there, the only
you were there.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
Yes,
the only
absolutely.
real theater with perfect acoustics,
Yes.
And it just was fantastic. And her stage presence, another thing too. She walks out on stage before she says a single note, and she has the audience. She just grabs the audience. It's just the way she is. And but it was terrific. She was fantastic, and everybody there was good. But she did sing solo a few pieces.
Yeah.
And she had the audience right where she wanted them.
Thank you.
How many hours a day do you practice with the orchestra when you have a performance? I mean, you just don't do it that night. You probably meet every day for a number of hours working with them.
Some days before, but not so many that because many years ago when Maria Callas was alive and many great singers, you had even 1 month for practice every day. Now time is very quickly. You have to be very quick. You have to be prepared by yourself, and we don't have so many rehearsals. Sometimes we have only 2 rehearsals. For Carnegie Hall, we had only 2 rehearsals, and we go on the stage. You have to be ready. You have to be ready, professional. You don't have time to repeating something, to make mistake. You have to be very focused and very well prepared. Sometimes also in Italy it's crazy because, with Maria Callas, when she was performing Barbiere di Siviglia of Rossini, she had like 2 months for preparing. I had only 2 weeks to preparing, it's very few times. So you have to be prepared by yourself, memorizing very quickly. You have to be very quickly. Now life is very frenetic, very fast. Sometimes, for example, some years ago I was in China for tournée. I come back to China for 1 day in my house and I go to US for other concerts. So sometimes it's crazy. The last year, you remember, Joe, I was in Pretoria in Africa. First I was in Carnegie Hall. I come back to my home in Italy. After that, I go to Pretoria Opera. So sometimes you have to change time many times. You have to be always ready. Not many times.
Did you have to adjust your lifestyle from living in Poland to living in Italy?
Okay.
Yes? Yeah, it's altogether different, isn't it?
Yes, it's completely different.
It's, no worry, take your time.
Right? Yes, piano. Philosophy of Italian people. Piano, everything will be good, no stress. Yeah. And also Italian conductor, before going to the stage, Italian conductor always told me, enjoy now, you have to be happy on the stage. And Polish conductor, you can't make mistake. You can't make mistakes because it will be terrible. It will be your last time on the stage. So it's stress. In Italian, easy, it's good, good emotion.
Yeah.
That's different mentality.
I'm not surprised at all.
That's so the Italians.
Yes,
I saw that when I spent about 2 glorious months in 2015 in Italy. I don't know if you know that. And, I saw that, and when I went, the Roma Hotel was the first hotel I went to. And I said, can I put my radio show on? It's taped in USA now, and put it on in your lobby. And they said, yeah. And they had a great, like a 36-inch screen, and it was like a little tilted and all. I'm trying to fix it. They said, what are you doing? It's fine the way it is,
Yeah.
But,
Well, I have a friend who bought a house in Italy.
Oh.
And the day he went, he was there for the settlement. And he shows up at the settlement, and there's I guess whoever handles the settlement, this young woman, loaded down with jewelry in her hair and everything. And he's there, he's waiting, like a half an hour goes by, 45 minutes. He goes up to her and he asks, because it's done by a lawyer. So he asks the lady, well, what time's the settlement going to start? Because I'm waiting for Mr. So-and-so. And she said, oh, it's a beautiful day. He went to the beach. Oh, to tell him. Isn't that the Italians?
It's very Italian.
We can say that.
I know. Listen, we can say it, yeah.
Joe and I can say that. No one else can.
That's true. We get away with
it. You seem to have a very strict repertoire for classical music. Many operetta singers have moved over to pop music. Pavarotti did it. Cecilia Bartoli did it.
Yes.
Do you ever consider that as part of your repertoire?
Yeah, I just did it. Of course, I love classical music, but I'm singing from Baroque music until Mozart, romantic music, but also a lot of contemporary music. For example, I collaborate a lot with American Composer Society. For example, with Maestro Adler, James Adler. He's an amazing composer from New York. He wrote for me beautiful music that now I will be performing around the world. So it's beautiful collaboration. Also, Maestro Rentowski, I was performing his music world premiere in Carnegie Hall. So I like a lot of contemporary classical music, but also good question about pop. Yes, I was recording some pop music, pop opera, of course, with opera voice, but arrangement with pop. It works pretty well for Radio Vaticano very often that put my music in this style. Yes, it's good idea, especially for people who don't listening opera every day. So it's very nice, and I for sure come back.
Radio Vatican too. too.
Yeah,
she's
Radio
talking
Vatican
about.
too. Yes.
Radio Vatican?
Yes.
So it's not always,
Well,
you
we
know,
won't talk about
it's
that
not
right
always Ave Maria. You know?
No, it's not. Would you do something like Dominika does Sinatra? Would you do that?
Oh, it will be my dream.
Oh,
Wow.
there you go.
It will be my
Cole
dream.
Porter.
I will be very happy to do
we'll have
it.
to, we'll have to.
I mean, that would be pretty cool to add that to your repertoire. I mean, other opera singers have done it.
I would like.
you know,
It's
yeah.
my dream. I was performing a lot of for movies. I was working with Maria Newman. She's an amazing composer from Los Angeles. I made some concerts with her in Malibu, Los Angeles, Warner Grand Theater. She wrote for me beautiful music, like film, like soundtrack for films, and I like it so much. Also in Italy, I was recording for some films. Recently presented in cinema in Rome with Maestro Marco Verba. He wrote beautiful music for Goffredo Italia Chiamò. This is film, beautiful film, and beautiful music with orchestra, symphonic orchestra, and opera voice. Great experience. But I would like to be also actress. It's my dream. I try.
Would you like to be an actress? Though?
Yeah, I would like to. I was talking with my manager Joe about it.
Do you
yes.
do you have time to like for any enjoy yourself or have an entertainment or anything? Do you have any time, any free time? Because you seem like you're always busy.
My entertainment is singing. I love it so much. It's like only my drug is music. It's only drug that I have in my life. I love this so much. Enjoy it.
All opera is not in Italian. Do you speak other languages?
Yes, of course, Italian. Sometimes in Spanish I performing. Sometimes contemporary music I performing in English. Sometimes in Polish, Russian, of course, Croatian. I make one CD with Croatian.
Do you speak Russian?
I understand something, not so well, but I understand. Czech also. I better speak Czech language.
Oh, because that's the border of where you're.
Yes, on the border.
Where
Yes,
Wroclaw
yes.
is located. In
Yes.
it's right on the border actually.
Yes, yes, yes.
On the Czech-Slovakian border.
Yes, very
Yes.
close. And they had amazing composer like Dvořák. It was amazing for me 1 year ago in Carnegie Hall because Dvořák was performing his Symphony of New World first time in Carnegie Hall. It was world premiere. It was amazing. In my dress room, I saw his photo and I discovered that he was performing there. And Dvořák was living also in New York. He became director of Conservatory of New York. So amazing thing.
Well, you have Chopin too.
Yes, yes.
You
In
know,
Polish, yes. This is my Chopin that I really love, and I try to promote this music around the world because it's soul. Everybody loves Chopin because it's emotion, pure emotion. He suffered a lot. He passed away when he was only 39 years old, and we feeling this suffering inside.
Was he sick?
Yeah, he was very sick.
I don't know his history.
And he was very melancholic, nostalgic for Poland because he emigrated to Paris and first to Vienna, after that to Paris. In Paris he met Liszt, amazing pianist. Liszt was performing his music, but his life was very difficult, yes.
You know, I always thought that if the closest thing to American opera was the blues. Because it requires emotion.
Yes, for
and
sure.
It requires passion.
Yes.
You know, rock and roll, you know, you can just play it. But you know,
Beautiful.
would you like to do a concert with the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, I love really rock music. I love opera and I love rock music. I love Queen. I love Rolling Stone. I love also
I had a
Jimi
feeling.
Hendrix.
Queen,
Hendrix.
right? Yeah.
Queen a lot.
Oh, I'm a big Jimi Hendrix
Yes,
fan.
amazing. I love Queen special. I love Led Zeppelin, this kind of style. I love Jimi Hendrix, amazing guitarist. Janis Joplin also. I love these years. I don't like so much pop music, a little bit, but more ambitious pop music.
It's really
I prefer rock.
classic rock.
Yes.
That's what I was playing on my drums.
Yeah, you told
My big
me.
3-year drum career, I was playing, that's the stuff I was playing too
Beautiful.
back in the day.
Well, you're here for a reason. Now, tell me, you got to talk about Radio Voice Italia. Tell you, not me. I know Radio Voice Italia.
I know too, of course.
But you know, we have an audience, and we're educational and informative. What about Radio Voice Italia?
Well, what can I tell you? We just had an anniversary, 12 years. Doing the radio show, one show a week, every Wednesday. Usually we vary the time, 2 hours sometimes. And sometimes it's live, sometimes it's, has pre-recorded segments. It's like a hybrid now where I can actually go out and do segments, pop-up broadcast, and so it really has. It's changed, through the years, kind of mutated. But obviously, one of the greatest gifts to me was the ability to meet Dominika about 2 years ago through the radio show. There's been a lot of other high moments, but she is really the pinnacle. And as I say, she's been influential in what I do, because sometimes I get a little down, and I talk to her, and the enthusiasm, I go back to my little studio, and I'm like, it's like I got a shot of B12 or something.
Amazing.
So she's very, very influential. Very.
You can be heard worldwide.
Worldwide, it's internet radio. We had one of the earliest internet radio shows, to tell you the truth, back in 2013. And I learned the hard way. I have an engineering degree in sound and broadcasting also, but I learned the hard way because there was really nothing scripted. It was the beginning of the new concept, and there was a beginning, of course, for podcasts and things. But I'd like to say that through experimentation, I kind of had an input in there that other people actually adopted along the way. So quite a few stations, Italian theme stations, Italian American. We have quite a few stations down the country. So they've adopted some of the things that I was doing early on. And before that, I guess it's fair to say, I really got my feet wet with the internet radio through a very well-known historic disc jockey in this area, Greater Philadelphia, but all around the world, really. He was that influential. High Lit was on the top 40 radio station in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
And that's where you got your...
Yeah, I got a call from his son, and he said, we want to launch internet radio, High Lit Internet Radio, and I hooked up with them. I did that for 5 or 6 years. And we also defined it then. We were actually defining the genre, because it wasn't like etched in stone yet. It was kind of experimental. But all the other formats started out experimental also. FM radio was a big experiment.
Yeah.
And it was actually shunned by some of the industry, but it was promoted for better audio quality, when you heard the music, and all that. But, everything, took its path, so the show's doing good.
And mostly my activity is performing around the world. So live concerts, you're very welcome listening to my concert, because opera voice sounds in the best way in live, with great acoustic, how Joe, my great manager, told that the Carnegie Hall had some amazing acoustic. So it's beautiful to listening opera voice with great orchestra, with great acoustic. This is very, very nice. So we welcome on my concerts around the world, absolutely.
And are you're on social media, like Facebook?
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, both. Yes. Yeah, Dominika Zamara, soprano. You can find.
She has an incredible following.
I know.
Thousands.
I know.
She has different.
You are traveling to Argentina, Mexico.
Yes, very soon. When I come back from US, I come back to Italy. I will have one big concert with female orchestra, only a woman in the orchestra, and a woman conductor, Elisabetta Bellezza, amazing conductor, because now it's many female conductor in the world. This is incredible.
Is there anything we missed? Anything you'd like to add?
I don't know. I mean, follow her again on social media. You'll know where she's performing. And you have to see her videos, because the voice is one thing, but to watch her actually, the visuals, and of course they complement each other.
You're probably equally as popular in Poland as you are in Italy.
I love both countries, but Italy is in my heart always. Italy,
really?
Because I grew up artistically in Italy, so Italy is for me a country of opera, of music, of art. Everywhere is Renaissance, Baroque, so I love this architecture.
And you speak Italian?
Yes, of course. Parlo italiano, certamente, la mia lingua naturale. Per ogni cantante lirico.
Better than I do.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, you have to. Every opera singer have to, because
I barely speak English.
Amazing.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With Dominika Zamara and Joe Morinelli, this is John Ricciuti. Thank you very much, and hopefully you enjoyed the show.